For decades, India followed a foreign policy of non-alignment, which means it would not be aligned towards any one particular power bloc. But things appear to have changed recently. India is participating in global affairs more actively than ever before. The question is, how much has the foreign policy of India changed under the current leadership? My guest today is the 38th richest man in the United Kingdom, a political veteran and a business magnate, Lord Swraj Paul. We have seen India following a policy of non-alignment, which means it would not interfere into others' matters and it would not be very, very active. Or when we say active, at least it would not go beyond a certain boundary of interference. But today, do you see that India is very active? It is trying to participate in global issues. It is trying to be heard on the global stage. And therefore, there is something different in India's attitude towards foreign policy.
We are still non-aligned, and I am glad we are non-aligned. We are a major nation, and non-aligned is our best bet. We are aligned whoever is democratic. We are aligned that we want to trade with everybody else, and that has always been the policy. I think it's in India we get very excited about that there is a great change. The change is that India matters today. Mr. Modi has tried very hard to use the talent of the non-resident Indians so that they do the work for him.
I was also researching on what the Western world thinks about Indian foreign policy, because we know that India is the fastest growing economy and the whole world is looking up to India. You know, when people have their own expectations from the country in general. But the Western world has a problem. They think that Indian foreign policy is not clear because they want India to be clear on certain issues like what India thinks about Syria or what India thinks about Israel, though the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, was the first one to visit there. But they want India to be more clear, if I may say so. Do you expect India to be more clear, or do you think that it's good because it gets a benefit of doubt?
Why do we bother of what the other world wants? We want to run our own foreign policy. We are capable of doing that. We have 1.3 billion people. We are highly educated people in the country.
The foreign policy revolves around how Narendra Modi has been very active. How much credit would you give to the current Prime Minister? Because I've been following you on Twitter, and for those people who have not seen your tweets, I would like to read a one or two from your Twitter where you say, "Thank you @Narendra Modi in spelling out your work's ethics, your dream, commitment and determination to succeed in your job." On 8th May, you say, "Well done, Prime Minister and Finance Minister. Pleasure to read article in Financial Times where he talks about the taxation system," and you say, "makes all us Indian proud." So you have been singing praises about the Prime Minister. Why?
I have every reason to praise. Mr. Modi's biggest achievement is that he has cut down corruption, which has not been done before. And everybody agrees that when you see comments from the Transparency International or anywhere, and you can feel it in the country. Why didn't it happen before? It wasn't the lack of desire on the part of Mrs. Gandhi or any other Prime Minister, but the system didn't allow. He has fought, and why shouldn't you praise a man who has succeeded?
So you think it translates, I mean, whatever work Mr. Modi has done during his tenureship, which is still there, translates into establishing a good image of India outside. That's what you're saying.
Without any question. Nobody can say anymore that there is corruption at the top. What did you hear before? I know the person who fought against corruption and was very unhappy with the corruption was the late Mrs. Gandhi. But then everybody used to blame her because they didn't want honesty, those who were blaming her.
Do you think that India is heading in the right direction under the leadership of Narendra Modi, or how do you see India from 10 years now?
India's foreign policy, looking at the times that those foreign policies were in existence, have always been very good.
So there's nothing new happening, you are saying. I just want to emphasize on this particular point. There's nothing new happening, you are saying.
You are on the wrong track there. Every day new things happen.
That's a philosophical answer.
No, that's not a philosophical answer. The world is changing, so is India. So how can you say that the policy which we had in 1955 should be the same or measured against that in 2018? The policy is what the world is. The world is changing.
So India is reacting according to the circumstances, you're saying?
Every country has to react. Did you think that Mr. Trump will be talking to the North Korean leader?
Well, Trump has done many things that nobody would have thought, including himself.
No, it's not a question. I think he is a great president. The man has been elected by the American people.
Okay.
American people are not fools. It's just people have a habit of criticizing. Why should anybody be criticized? We should all get the blame if we have elected a wrong leader.
Yeah. So you're saying that in general, to criticize Narendra Modi would be unfair. I mean, he has been a subject of a lot of unfair criticism. But coming back to wrap this interview up, you have been awarded Padma Bhushan by late Indira Gandhi.
Yeah.
And today you were supporting Narendra Modi's principles. Do you think any striking similarity or similarities at all, or are the two different individuals following their own path?
I think Mrs. Gandhi did a great job. I think she has been the best Prime Minister so far of the country. But times have changed. The country moves on, the world moves on, people move on. Look at the education now in India. Look at people's wishes in India.
So I know it's not a question of foreign policy, but any advice for Congress you have?
We need all parties, and we need all parties to be strong. Democracy is only alive when the parties are. I wish Congress party gets its strength back, but for the Congress party to get on with it. And so does the other parties. I am not against parties.
I know.
All I want is democracy.
So the long and short is you're saying respect the will of the people.
That's
and
right.
If the people of India today have chosen Narendra Modi, people should have faith in him as a Prime Minister and give him every opportunity to lead the country. That's what it's saying essentially.
If they get fed up, there will be an election next year, they can decide. But let him get on with the job as long as you have elected him. You can criticize if you don't like something, but you don't stop him from getting on with the job which he wants to do. You will have your time.
Reservations and questions. All right, Lord Paul, thank you so much for talking to us. It's been a pleasure, sir.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
India seems to be trying hard for a global recognition. But this recognition often comes at a cost. The cost of standing alone at times. So would India stand alone in future? Or would it successfully maneuver the whole world to stand by its side while swiftly changing the gears of foreign policy? We'll see. Anilesh Kumar, Democracy News Live, London.